I was always afraid of going in to talk to church leaders. I'm kind of a nervous guy, and there's a huge embarrassment of the abuse as well. Like with my son's situation, he was called faggot almost every day, and 80 times before he killed him, the night before he killed himself. He was embarrassed, and trust me, as his parent, you said, why didn't he tell his parent? I was asking, trust me, why don't you? And you think, well, what kind of father is this? Well, we gave that boy a kiss every single night before we put him to bed, every night, up to the day he died. I told him he was important to me. I loved him and his mother as well, me and his mother. And I sat down with 2 hours with him about 2 weeks before he made his end-of-life decision, and I said, I don't know what I've done wrong. I didn't know. I was talking to him, and I said, I asked for his forgiveness. I didn't even know what I was doing wrong. But you know what I was doing wrong? I was following their advice. In his own words in the suicide note. That was his only blame on me, as I did what the church told me to do. I made him do the worthiness interview. I made him go to a place where he was being harmed by his peers. They were abusing him, and they were spreading out to his school and online. I made a mistake, and I didn't listen carefully enough. I did not listen, and a lot of parents don't. And when they're going into the bishop and you're bringing mom and dad in there, it may not always be. If they're ignorant learners, lazy learners like I am at the time, they may make the same mistakes. I didn't listen carefully enough, But anyways.
I wanted to share something with you. Curtis, can you focus in on that? No, I want him to sit back. Okay? So, I found this cell phone cover last month because I was preparing for this trip. Do you see what Little Red Riding Hood has done? This is what I learned as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No one is coming to save you. You have to kill the wolf. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the little girls. I'm sorry to the women who had to wear the scarlet letter, whatever your letter was, because it shouldn't be this way. I am glad for the good huntsmen. There are some in the church. I married one. I believe Brian's one. I believe Sam's one. Curtis is one. Men that were willing to stand for women and children and wield the sword of justice in defense of truth and virtue. I wanted to also address something that Brian said as long as my phone is out. He said that Sam Young should not have been X for embarrassing the church. Well, I have excommunicated the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for ecclesiastically, socially, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically embarrassing abuse survivors and those who love the truth. We believe in being honest, true, chaste, benevolent, virtuous, and in doing good to all men. Indeed, we may say that we follow the admonition of Paul. We believe all things. We hope all things. We have endured many things. And we hope to be able to endure all things. If there is anything virtuous, lovely, or of good report, or praiseworthy, we seek after these things.
Last month, a report came out from the Associated Press about a case in Arizona, a guy by the name of Adams, who was raping his daughters, and it was written by a man by the name of an investigative reporter named Mike Resendez. Mike Resendez was part of the Spotlight team in 2002 that uncovered the problem with the Catholic Church in Boston. And he is a warrior for survivors. He is upset that these things are going on. If you remember in the movie, at one point, Mark Ruffalo, who played Mike Resendez, said, they knew, and they let it happen. And that's what we want to stop.
That's what it's really about. In the words of Adid, it's actually the stop-it speech. On my mind is Uchtdorf. He actually did give a good sermon there. I like that. I used it several times in talks before I was so aggressively removed out of the church for wanting my children to be safe. But he gave a two-word sermon to stop it, right? And I just loved that. Before I left the church, I used that talk like 3 or 4 times, and and speaking assignments, and also a teaching assignment in Elders Forum. And you know what, Elder President Uchtdorf, you were on the right track on that one. You're right. To stop it. And this is what I'm asking you to do, President Uchtdorf. I know you're not the president of the church, but you have a close office to him. I want you to start rubbing shoulders with him a little bit on this topic. I believe you're understanding that a two-word sermon is exactly what is needed. But we want to go a little bit further than that, and not just words, because we know that talk is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. You got a hungry guy out on the street, and we wish you and we bless you, right? And while he starves to death, that's talk is cheap, And we want to do action. President Uchtdorf, I'm asking you, because it seems like you're the one that understands this the best. Let's get some action on this, and try to have a conversation. And invite me up here to your office while I'm here. I'm here till Saturday. Come get with me, and I'll visit with you. I'll visit with any of you. I'd be happy to at least have my voice heard and make the church a much more safe environment. That's what we're all doing here. You think that, what are they doing here? These guys aren't in the church anymore. That's not true. My family is LDS. My friends are LDS. The children of my friends are LDS.
Some of my best friends are LDS.
Some of my best friends are still LDS. They are active. My uncles and aunts are LDS. My cousins are LDS. You think we're here as enemies of the church? This is our family. We're trying to make our church, our faith, our heritage a safer place. But I have no power to do that by myself. There's only one man on this earth that can make the Latter-day Saint environment safer for its children. And that's you, President Nelson, and that's why I keep talking to you, because you're it. There is nobody else. So, anyways.
I feel like I should say something to my mother. If you will read my patriarchal blessing, Mom, and if you want to dox me, dox that 40-page letter too. It says in there that I will have a ministry among people who are not in the church. I happen to believe that my blessing was inspired, and this is it. To the victims out there, we hear you. We believe you. That's why we're here. I know some of you can't come here, but I can feel you with me, and we are talking for you.